Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Beer, a show where we take local beer and local chefs and make an amazing meal. Today we're cooking with Last Best. Take a look.
Last Best, it kind of has to do with back in the 1800s in Alberta, it was kind of marketed as the last best place to settle. So with the new law changes and things like that, last best kind of means, you know, last best chance to have a brew pub. We're located right downtown on 11th Ave and 5th Street Southwest. And then that's kind of our main area where the brewery is. We have a restaurant there as well. And then we're located in about 100, 110 different bars around the downtown core and Calgary. The IPA is probably our flagship, along with the Show Pony. It's a pretty kind of to style IPA, kind of West Coast. It's got its caramel malts in it, but it has a lot of kind of fancy hops, and that's what kind of makes it the IPA. When you get kind of hot flavor like that, it's really good with kind of spicy foods or like really barbecue saucy foods. I would do something like that. The Dirty Bird's actually kind of a bit of a cool one. This brewery used to be called Brew Brothers. They had a beer there called Black Pilsner. It was kind of a fan favorite, a local favorite. So when Last Best came over and bought the brewery, they wanted to keep that beer going. So Dirty Bird Black Lager, Black Pilsner, it's kind of definitely not the same recipe, stuff like that, but it's their kind of homage to the Brew Brothers brewery. I definitely use it in a soup. A soup or kind of like a dressing would be really well, or even just to have it with like something like a charcuterie board or something like that works good. So the lattes, it's kind of a weird beer. Never really heard anything about it when we first kind of brewed it. It's a nitro beer, so it's got that cascading effect. We use lactose sugar when we actually brew it, so that kind of gives it kind of the residual sweetness, you know, kind of the milky flavor that you get from a latte. And then we also use Fratello coffee in it as well. And we brew that like you normally would brew coffee, and then we just put that straight into the beer, and that kind of gives it the coffee finish. Caramel latte, I would do dessert for sure. It's definitely a dessert beer. I know Adam's gonna do good work because he's a really good cook. I like all the food he does here, but I'm interested to try the food, Adam. It's gonna be really good.
Now that we know what beer we're cooking with, let's meet Adam, our chef. Let's bring in our chef today, Adam, who is the chef from Last Best, the restaurant downtown, Calgary. How are you doing today?
Doing well, yourself?
Good. I can't wait to get started here.
Yeah.
You've got some amazing stuff pulled out. What are we doing today?
So for our appetizer today, we're going to do a cottage cheese and dill stuffed pierogi with some butter braised leeks with some smoked fish, some creme fraiche, and beer mustard.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
So we're going to start on our main course first.
Yeah, we're going to start off with the main. So today we're going to, it's a bit chillier of a day here in Calgary, so we're going to do like it's called bullet soup.
Yeah.
So basically we're going to take some elk and make it into meatballs and make like a hearty soup with it with some root vegetables and some, savory beef broth.
Sounds like an Alberta thing.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Okay.
What are we doing?
All right, great. So first thing we'll do is we'll kind of get our vegetables prepped.
Okay.
So these are egg-red potatoes from Poplar Bluff, just south of the city.
Local.
Yeah. So we like to use a lot of local ingredients at Last Best.
Yeah.
There's a lot of amazing products grown and raised here in this province, so why not?
For sure, and it's so much better.
Yeah, it is. It's great. Yeah. I mean, just get that farm fresh quality, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So right now, just gonna dice up the onions.
Yeah. And just while you're doing that, let's take a look at these carrots that you brought in this morning. Aren't those funky?
Yeah, so these are Parisian market carrots. Yeah. I just got these from YYC Growers yesterday, and they're grown by Leaf and Wire here in the city. But yeah, just like they're like, oh, chili's round carrots. I was like, that's crazy. I've never seen a round carrot before. So we'll utilize that today in our soup.
Cool.
Yeah, so we got some potato, onion. Use a little bit of celery as well.
All the good stuff for a soup.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like just some rough cuts. There's nothing really you know, ideally you want to have it to be able to fit on a soup spoon, so that people don't have to take, you know, multiple bites of the soup. So these ones here are just little turnips as well, grown by YYC growers here in Calgary as well. So we'll just kind of cut those up a little.
And those give kind of that earthy flavor to the soup.
Yeah. It's a great time of the year for all the root vegetables here in Calgary. So.
Yes, for sure. It's just at the farmer's market. You can see all of that stuff all through the spring too. Yeah,
so we're just gonna take the tops and the bottoms off these carrots. Almost looks like they're just like stunted at growing.
I wonder how they did that. Did they like get a mold and just like throw them into a mold? Or
I guess so.
We'll have to ask them next time.
Yeah.
Or was it just an accident?
Yeah, so down at Last Best we work with you know, the YYC growers, more specifically from Grand Trunk Veggies.
Yeah.
And throughout the summer months and well, spring, a little bit of fall, not so much fall, but you know, we get to use all this amazing produce.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So yeah. Okay.
Cool.
So now we got kind of the mise en place cut up for our soup.
Yep.
We'll get the pot going. Initially, we're going to kind of start it off like somewhat hot, so we're going to sear the saute the onions first.
Okay.
Okay. Just kind of move it all.
And which beer are we going to be using in this one?
So we're going to use the Dirty Bird. So it's a dark style lager from Last Best. Lots of flavor.
Yeah.
It'll go nicely with the elk meatballs. Just going to add a little bit of oil to the pot.
Is that just olive oil?
This is canola oil, actually.
Okay.
And it's made right here in the province as well, too, actually.
Yeah.
Mountain View canola oil. So it's a cold pressed canola oil. All right, now that our pot is hot, I'm just going to get these onions into the pot.
Get some color on those?
Yeah, it's great. Once you hear that sizzle, you know the pot's been hot enough, right?
Yeah.
So let's give those a quick little stir. Throw with a little bit of salt and pepper. It's important during the cooking process to always kind of season every step of the way to kind of keep building that flavor. So while I'm sauteing these, do you want to help me out and cut the garlic up, please?
Yes, I can cut some garlic.
Yeah, great.
My favorite ingredient, I think.
Let's give it a nice slice.
Not nearly as fast as you are, though.
Gotta
watch my fingers.
You're doing well.
I need my fingers.
All right, great. So now those onions are going. We'll get the garlic in there. We'll throw our celery in. It's great. Throw our carrots in there. Get a little bit of color on them. Cool. So now that that's going, we're gonna make the meatballs real quick.
Ooh, fantastic.
Okay, so all we're gonna do is keep this super simple. We're just gonna put a bunch of salt and pepper in there. Just gonna mix it around.
It's got a really good color on that. Dark purple.
Yeah, it's nice dark meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little more salt, a little more pepper. All right. So we'll let that kind of sit. So now we're getting a little bit of color on the onions.
Okay.
You smell the celery and the carrots cooking.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, it's great. So we're gonna add the beef stock now. Just using about a liter of beef stock.
Yeah.
Let's let that sit. While that's sitting, we're going to cut up some flat leaf parsley, and that's going to help flavor the soup. So we want to go ahead and give that a chop.
Try this out. I'm going to be by the time we're done filming these shows, I'm going to be so good at this.
Yeah. Great.
There we go.
Awesome, thank you.
No problem, anytime. I need a class, I need a knife class.
Okay, great. So we're gonna make some meatballs now. So make a decent sized meatball and just kind of work it in your hand a little bit.
Yeah.
Got some flour here.
Okay.
So basically this soup is kind of made after, it's called bullet soup.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a traditional Métis style soup actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did not know that. Sounds good.
Okay, so now the soup's kind of coming up to a boil, finally. We're gonna drop the meatballs in there.
Just right in, eh?
Yeah. It's smelling great.
So good. Must be those carrots.
Yeah.
It must be the round carrots.
Okay, so now I got the meatballs in there. We're gonna give the soup a little bit more of a seasoning.
More salt.
Good couple pinches of salt, not as much pepper. Give it a quick stir to get those meatballs going. Great, it smells awesome. We're gonna add that parsley that you
chopped so nicely.
Yeah, looks great. And the beer.
Cool.
Just gonna add about a cup of beer.
Perfect.
Should be enough. We'll just kind of let that simmer away.
Awesome. Well, we're going to take a break while that kind of simmers, and we're going to start to make our appetizer. We're going in reverse order today, but we're going to make our appetizer while that soup cooks, so stay with us. Welcome back. During the break, we brought everything out to make our appetizer, and we also put potatoes and the turnips in the soup. So we're moving along here. What do we got now? Got some pierogies.
Yeah, so those are some hand-pinched cottage cheese and dough pierogies. The reason why I chose those is because that was my favorite ones growing up to eat as a kid, actually.
Okay, yeah.
I wouldn't eat potato pierogies for the life of me. So.
No, really?
So anyways, yeah, so we're going to do some pan-fried pierogies with some smoked Winnipeg Goldeye.
Ooh, sounds good.
Some butter braised leeks, as well as some beer mustard that we're going to make up.
Cool.
Yeah, so let's start with the beer mustard.
Yeah.
Okay, so
what are these?
So basically those are yellow mustard seeds.
Okay.
Okay, you can use a mix of yellow and brown if you'd like.
Yeah.
Okay. I already have a pinch of dry mustard in there. We'll give it a pinch of salt. We'll give it a good couple pinches. Okay. Not as much pepper, because we don't want it to be too spicy. Okay. We've got some of this honey here. It's actually local honey.
Yeah.
From our own Last Best beehives.
Oh, really? I didn't. You guys have your own bees.
Yeah.
Cool.
So just kind of get that honey in there. Okay, great. Got a little bit of apple cider vinegar as well. Okay, so put a little apple cider vinegar in there. I'll mix it all up. And the beer we're going to use for that is our IPA.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So that's got a bit more of a bitter taste to it because of the hops,
bitter taste
right?
and the hops, yeah. So it smells good. Just going to pour that in there.
Is it it's like a science experiment, but we know you know what we're doing.
For the most part.
Yeah, good.
Okay, great. So if you want to just throw the lid on there.
Yeah, okay. Shake it up.
Yeah, give it a good shake.
Fun. That's like a good project for the kids.
Yeah, so I mean, it's easy to do, right? You just like throw those ingredients in there, and we're just going to let that sit. All right, so next step of the process, we're going to make sure the pan is going. We've got it on low heat just so it starts getting warm. We're going to cut the leeks just into nice big rounds. These are also grown right here in the city.
They're big leeks.
Yeah, they are giant. And ideally with leeks, you want to use like the bottom white part.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the flavor. This is kind of gets a little
bitter. I was wondering about that. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so now we got the leeks cut. We're gonna melt some butter. I always like to use lots when I'm making pierogies.
Nothing wrong with that.
Great. So while we're waiting for that butter to go, we got this smoked Winnipeg Goldeye.
Yeah.
So Goldeye is in the province of Alberta as well too, but I just wasn't able to source it for us. So, and basically I just kind of smoked that.
Looks kind of like smoked salmon.
Almost. Yeah. You know, a little more prairie feel to it rather than salmon, right?
Yeah. That's too West Coast for us, isn't it? So that's going into the oven. So we got our fish in the oven.
So we're just gonna put these leeks in here.
Okay.
And those are gonna start soaking up all that butter.
And a leek is kind of like an onion taste, right?
Yeah.
Flavor,
yeah. It's our onion family. Great. So we got lots of butter in there. The leeks are probably looking nice. Starting to get a little bit of color on the bottom.
And you're gonna keep those in the same shape, right?
Yeah, totally.
You're not gonna break them up?
Yeah. Just help with the texture.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn this down actually a little bit.
Let's switch spots.
Okay, so now those leeks are browning. Just gonna add the pierogies.
And you make those all yourself, hand press them?
These were hand pinched, yeah. So very time consuming, labor of love, but you know, you can taste it in the final product. Yeah. Okay, great. So we're going to use this creme fraiche that we've flavored with some citrus, some lemon and orange. Okay. I find that the orange gives it a nice refreshing flavor. It's not something you taste, you know, normally with the sour cream. Yeah. We also used some white vinegar in there as well too, because what I've learned from like some of the Ukrainian cooking, like they could make like this, put some vinegar in sour cream or with cream, and it gives it a nice tart flavor. Yeah, good. Great, so those are smelling great. I'm just gonna pull this off the heat now. Then we're gonna start plating. So just gonna put some sour cream on the plate, or the creme fraiche on the plate rather. Pull our smoked fish out of the oven.
Smells good.
Smelling great.
Yeah.
Okay, let's bring this over here.
Just plating our appetizer here, so beautiful.
Some nice brown color, but nice and crispy. There we are. Some leeks. I'm trying to grab the ones that have the most color, so there'll be the most flavor on them.
Looks amazing.
Okay, we'll just finish it off with some fresh dill. I like using a lot of fresh herbs when I'm finishing my dishes because it just adds another flavor, and there we have it.
Beautiful, there's our appetizer. Awesome, so we have our appetizer plated. We still have our main course just boiling up there, and we also have dessert to make, so stay with us, we'll see you in a bit. Welcome back into the kitchen at Cuisine and Chateau. We have our appetizer here plated, and we're about to plate our main course, the soup that we've been making.
Yeah, so if you want to give that a taste, let's make sure it's seasoned. If you want to try one of those turnips in there maybe, see if it's cooked. Okay. While you're doing that, I'm just going to throw one of these biscuits into the oven.
Definitely taste that beer.
Okay, so we'll throw it in the oven then. All right, so we'll just let that warm up a bit. While we're doing that, we'll get this our soup bowl here. I'll give it one final taste.
Just for good measure.
That's right, this tastes great.
Good. And how do you know that the meat's cooked as well?
I guess it's just by feeling, you know, like experience. It's been in it for a while now, so. It is meatballs, it's not going to take that long to cook. There's no filler in there or anything like that, so. Oh, it's looking great.
Amazing.
Just got some of those little carrots in there. Nice. All right, spin that over. So we're a little white.
And there you go.
A little fresh biscuit, and we'll finish it off with a little bit of beer mustard.
And you just warm those biscuits in the oven with some butter.
Just a little bit of butter.
There's our beer mustard.
Beer mustard just give a little bit of tartness to the soup. There you go.
Beautiful. Let's put that up with our appetizer and get started on our dessert.
Okay, great. So today we're going to do the beer caramel with fried bannock.
Okay.
A little bit of cinnamon sugar on it. So we'll get the beer caramel going first.
Okay.
So the beer we're going to use today is our caramel latte beer. So it's a pretty unique beer to last best.
Yeah.
Our brewmaster has a fascination with coffee.
Yeah.
So we use Fratello coffee
cool.
to make this beer.
Yeah.
So we're just going to put about a cup in there. We're going to let that come up to a boil, and it'll turn down to a simmer.
Yeah.
And all we're going to do is just start reducing that. When it's reduced by, say, about a quarter, we're going to add some of that honey in there, and it's going to help make it like that syrup.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. I'm excited for this one.
Great. So, beer's going away. So we're going to make the bannock. Okay. Super easy. All it is, like, so it's got a couple cups of flour in there.
Okay.
Okay. A couple tablespoons of baking powder. Pinch of salt. Okay. And just mix it around there with my hand. Okay. Make a little bit of a well in the middle.
Sounds easy enough.
You want to do have the fun part?
Yes. Roll up your sleeves. Get dirty here.
So it's going to pour about a cup of water into the middle. And all you're going to do is just going to start working the flour into the water.
Pulling it around?
Yeah. And
did you learn how to make bannock before you were a chef?
I did, yeah. So it's something I did definitely eat growing up.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to eat with it was choke cherry syrup.
Okay, yeah.
So choke cherries you'll find like throughout Western Canada. I'm not sure too much about the East, but that looks great. Yeah, awesome.
Good?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Sticky.
Yeah, feels great. So, I'd like to eat it with choke cherry syrup. Another great application is like these fry bread tacos. So you just like have like the way I would have grown up eating it is with like kind of taco seasoning on ground beef with like shredded lettuce and chopped tomatoes, some sour cream and cheese. All right.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff. All right, so we got the beer. It's coming up to a boil. It's going to turn it down to a simmer now.
And that cooks some of the alcohol off of it too, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You totally do this with, family, younger people as well.
Yeah, yeah. We've used beer caramel before for some desserts.
Yeah.
So we use this amazing honey. Put a good dollop in there. Give it a good stir, try and get it off. It is unpasteurized honey, so it has like a nice thicker consistency than normally you would get with like, say, a pasteurized
the ones that are
honey.
Clear.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between using those two?
Well, this one's just like unpasteurized, so you have this thicker consistency, whereas the liquid one has been pasteurized.
Yeah. And is that flavor different?
You know what? I find that this one will have a bit more of a, sometimes like a bit of a grainier texture to it. Yeah. Okay, great. So I can tell that the oil is nice and hot now. I'm just going to put a little bit of flour on my hands because
so it doesn't stick to you?
Yeah, exactly. So just a little piece there. There's no exact measurement when you're making this stuff. Just kind of pull it apart. Great.
Here, I'll do one too.
Perfect. yeah, you're working it.
Doesn't look the same. You make it look so easy. Good?
Yeah, looks good, yeah.
Okay.
Just kind of drop it in there. Just kind of move it around a little bit. Drop them more in there if you like.
Oh.
Perfect.
Close enough.
Yeah, there's no real, right or wrong way to make this.
And bannock is so versatile. You could do it for dessert or a main course, or you can do savory,
breakfast,
sweet. Breakfast.
Really, anything. So you got a little bit of nice brown color on there. It's got a bit of a yellowish tinge. That's actually from the canola oil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's local canola oil, right?
Okay, so a couple of these pieces are definitely going to be done. Just going to transfer them to some paper towel to dab off the excess grease. No, it's not quite done. So once these come fresh out of the oil, We have some sugar that I mixed with cinnamon.
Okay, yeah. White sugar?
Yeah, just regular white granulated sugar and the cinnamon. It's actually Indonesian cinnamon that we get from Silk Road Spice Merchants.
Okay, does it taste a little bit different than the cinnamon we're used to?
Not necessarily, but I find that it's a little more, what would be the right word? Cinnamony.
Okay. Yeah. That's a technical word too.
Give it a smell, give it a smell. You can just kind of tell, like it just has like a bit more potent.
Yeah, vibrant, right? Smells good.
So we'll just kind of give it a quick toss. I'm just going to coat that.
That looks so good.
So you go ahead and do that one there.
Okay. This one?
Awesome, yeah, it looks great. It smells amazing too.
No, I don't know what I'm going to eat first. Maybe I'll start a dessert after we're done.
Yeah.
Work my way backwards.
Okay, great. All right, that should be good. Might be a little bit on the thinner side, but it definitely has the great taste of the caramel latte as well as the honey. Okay, so just gonna put a little bit of the creme anglaise down on the plate first.
Just like
might as well be generous with it, right?
Yeah, creamy goodness, right?
Fried bannock.
Beautiful.
And just put that beer caramel right on there.
Fantastic. That looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for cooking with us today, Adam. This has been wonderful.
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me.
I'm going to start there when the camera goes off. Or maybe I'll just go right now. Thanks so much to Latte and Chateau and Cuisine, and we'll see you again on Cooking with Beer.
Great, thank you.